back to the Simple on Moto. We're going to be doing something a little bit different, and we're going to be building this XS500. It's a 1978. I bought it probably 4 months ago. I've been working on it a little bit and dialing stuff in before I start a full teardown of it. I just want to get it running. It just had the stock carbs on it were the Mikuni BM34s or BM32s. What I've been working on is getting the bike running better. I threw on some Mikuni VM series carbs. It's just what I've seen in forums that work pretty good for this bike. They're not 100% there. I still need to do some jetting, some tuning. So the plan for this build is to do kind of a more simple build. So I bought the XS500 from my buddy. He's had it since high school, and when he bought it, it already had the cafe scrambler look to it, and it just had some wiring issues. So my buddy and his dad already went through all the electrical and tried to make it work, but it's not all there at the moment. It runs, headlight works, the ignition is a little weird in the kill switch. So just like small stuff like that, turn signals aren't really working. I was just messing around with the flasher relay, and trying to find parts for this bike is kind of a pain. So I'm deciding to start from scratch. So the plan is to touch up a couple things. I want to redo the wiring. I've been doing some research and seeing what some other people have done, and either people use their stock wiring, which I don't really want to do with this one, and I want to go fully custom and essentially rebuild the whole wiring and just make it simple, make it clean. And so my solution right now is to go with a Moto gadget unit. I've seen a lot of things that other people have done with the Moto gadget, and just the way to wire it up, the simplicity of it, I think it makes the most sense. Instead of going full custom and then having to do mess with the relays, it's all in one. You're running a signal wire and then you're just running a ground. So you do your signal, it sends a signal to the unit, and then it sends it to the turn signal, and it allows for it to flash and function as it should, and that goes for everything else. There's a couple things I need to figure out. Would be if I want to stay with the same lead acid battery, or if I want to go more towards the lithium route. They're smaller batteries, easier to hide, so I think that might be the route, but I have to figure out what regulator would be best. I know running lithium with the stock one can kind of give you some issues, and we're trying to stay away from those. With the regulator, I should be fine with the stock stator. From what I've seen, other people's ran it, they haven't had any issues, so that should be fine. We'll look into that more once we get towards that, but wiring will kind of be towards the end. I'm gonna figure some stuff out prior and kind of get everything ran before I do a full teardown. I think that'd be the smartest route, kind of get a good game plan to start. The plan is to strip the bike down. Once I have a good game plan of which route I want to go, planning to do some custom stuff on it. I want to redo the front headlight and the style of it. I kind of came up with a concept and an idea that I haven't really seen on these builds, so I think it'd be pretty unique. So I think that's the route we're gonna go. It might change, I might stay with the stock. It's just a LED that I pretty sure the previous one of the previous owners did, and it looks okay, but there's a lot of wiring issues with it, so that's another reason I don't want to try to figure out someone else's mistake and kind of start from the beginning. So the plan is to clean up the gauge section. I don't know if I want to delete everything or keep speedo and RPMs. So that would be kind of a later decision. Right now the speedo's not working. I believe either the cable's messed up or it's binding, or the mechanism in the wheel that's providing the information gearing for the speedo is all messed up, so I need to dive into that. One of the previous owners, they kind of made a little light bar for like floodlights that I'm not the biggest fan of. They just don't look right, I don't think. And so I'm gonna clean that up. They did some sort of like angle iron mounting. So I need to take the lights out, strip the frame down, cut off the angle iron mount that they made, and grind everything down, make sure the frame's all smooth. The front forks are leaking. I have a rebuild kit I'm planning to use, so that'd probably be one of the beginning things I'll do. Rebuild the forks, get those all nice, and then tear it down, make sure front forks are working as they should. On the side of the bike, my buddy that had the bike prior, they threw in like a little fuse panel that gets covered up by the side panels that go on this bike. Luckily I do have those XS500 covers. I'm not 100% sure if I'm going to reuse those. On the rebuild, I'm planning on doing some sort of like paneling on the side, and that'll kind of clean everything up and make it flow better, I believe. But we'll see when we get to that. But going kind of towards the back of the bike, it has aftermarket rear brake light turn signals on it. It's all integrated into one. It looks cool, but I think I can come up with something different that might look good for the way I'm looking to build this bike. So that'll kind of be a fun thing to do, see if I can kind of come up with my own design for it. So with stripping down the bike, cleaning up the wiring, fixing the forks, fixing the front headlight on it, turn signals, and the floodlight, I'm going to either find a new tank for it. So I'm thinking of salvaging this tank, fixing all the dents and repainting it. But another part of me wants to just keep this tank as is and then just either have it as a wall ornament in the garage, or I think it'd be cool to have a separate tank that I paint, do something custom on it. But if I want to go back to that OEM XS500 style paint on the tank, I can always just swap it over. So we'll see what route we end up going with that. Right now it kind of has some knobby tires on it, so once we kind of get the build going and see what direction we're kind of heading with it, we'll kind of determine if I want to keep that knobby look or if I want to go street tire. I more than likely won't be taking this bike off-road, so realistically the knobbies are more just for show. When I have ridden this bike, we mainly just stayed on pavement and the tires felt fine, so we might keep them. There's a lot of life left to them, so it'd suck to just get rid of them unless I can sell them off for different tires. So the plan is for this build is to strip it down to bare frame. There's a couple sections on the frame that are rusted that I would like to fix. So I'm still on the fence if I want to just repaint the frame, strip it down to bare metal, paint it, or if I can look into powder coating. It'll definitely hold up better than paint, and I already went through that effort to tear the bike down, make it look good. So I still gotta decide which route and see what realistically is worth it. But if I do strip it down and just paint it and throw the bike together, it can kind of be like a stage one. If I don't like how the frame painted is, I can always tear the bike down and go powder coat route. So we'll see what happens there. But it should be a fun process. I'm excited for it. I feel like every like motorcycle rider kind of always wants to build their own bike and kind of make it their own. So that's kind of my decision with this one. So I hope you guys enjoy. So stay tuned. I'm gonna break this up into different parts. It's not gonna be all one thing, because it's not gonna be a weekend project. It's not gonna be a week project. It's not gonna be a month. So it's gonna be a fun process. I gotta get some stuff figured out first, and then we'll start the teardown. So we're gonna keep the engine all stock. We're not gonna do any performance or tear into it. I already had to fix a oil leak on it. The oil pan gasket was leaking, and I ended up upgrading the oil filter to a newer style. There's a brand in the UK that sells a adapter plate for the XS500 that allows you to use a more OEM, or not OEM, but newer age filter. So I got that all swapped over, and that seems like a good route to go. It wasn't crazy expensive. It was just a aluminum plate or adapter, CNC machined. So that's on the bike, and that should be everything that I've currently done. Just realistically, carbs and fixing that oil leak. I wanted to get that done before tearing into it, making sure the bike runs as it should. It's still iffy, like I said, with the running part, but it just needs to be rejetted. I've been messing around and having to downsize the main, had to upsize the jet to get it idling nice, messing with the needle position. So it's been fun. I haven't messed with these carbs prior to this, so, or in the past, so it was a cool process, diving in there, diagnosing what's going on, making it run better. So I've already entered this bike into a car bike show that was hosted here near me locally, and I ended up winning best bike. So that was cool. So promising, 'cause not a lot of people have these sort of bikes around me. It's typically more Harleys, and you can only do so much, or I feel like people can only appreciate so much of the Harley. Like, but when someone sees this and sees like the time that went into it, kind of more like custom, I think it's more unique. Kind of like, along with changing a couple things, I think the plan is to either find a seat that works better for this bike, with like color. I'm not sure if I want to stay like a black or like go like gray or like a lighter brown. I think right now, the way it's looking, those colors should work with what I'm planning. I think that would kind of tie the whole bike together from back to front. So we're gonna have fun with that, either find a seat or do something custom. So I know a couple people that do upholstery, so might reach out to them, or I think it'd be a cool skill to learn and be able to build a seat and kind of show you my process and what route I end up going. So I think that kind of covers everything. So if you enjoy kind of bike builds and just kind of like figuring out and tinkering around, definitely stay tuned. I'm excited for this and ready to dive into it. Like I said, it's not gonna be a weekend, it's not gonna be a week project. It's gonna take longer than I probably think it will, and that's okay. It's a project, and we might tear it down, build it back up, not like how it is, and then tear it back down, and cycle repeats. So with that being said, hope you guys enjoyed this kind of intro to this project build, and definitely stay tuned. And if you do like and enjoy how this process goes, don't forget to subscribe, like, and share. Trying to kind of build this thing, so we'll see how that goes. But I do appreciate you guys tuning in. So if you guys are excited to see where this process goes, stay tuned. That's all. So if you guys want to see how this process goes, definitely stay tuned, and we'll see how this goes. But for now, I appreciate you guys tuning in to this video. So I appreciate you guys tuning into this video, and I think that's about it. Covers everything that right now I have planned. Anything that does pop up, I'll fill you in as this, I guess, series comes out. So thank you for watching, and have yourself a good day. Thank you.